Welcome to Dan ARG YouTube. This na the first time the 20 people wey the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki inaugurate wey wan dey investigate the police brutality wey dey happen for Edo State don sit down together. Among the people na Kola Edokpayi. So anybody wey don experience police brutality for Edo State, these na the people wey go dey take their statement, dey investigate the matter. So make I leave you now, make you for see wetin dey talk for this place as they gather together. They discuss how they wan take handle each person case.
Hello, please. The chairperson has just said, if any of us have any suggestion, it will be better if we have any suggestion, we raise up our hand rather than talking to ourselves.
So, judicial panel of inquiry first sitting is taking place, so they are just organizing and arranging themselves and planning the days for meeting live here at the government house.
The first point of point, how do we get the petition? What method do we use? For example, I have my own followers. So, our pastor is here, Bishop is here. So, are we using, we use the clergy, like the government mentioned, the traditional rulers, we do the traditional rulers. We need to also get to the market women. How do we get at the market women? Look for various organizations to use. Then one method of media we want to employ, social media, electronics and print. The first point of call is how we get it. When information started rolling in, we know that will determine the number of days that we are going to sit. So like most of us who are being an activist, like a lot of people knows us to what we are doing about police and issues like that every day. People can easily come to us and pay attention to us. So the idea of part of the
because there are other panels from other states. Some of those my colleagues, they've sent me what they have. Like I have the one of Lagos State, I have the one of Anambra, I think I have the one of Ogun States.
Judicial panel of inquiry first sitting in Benin City for NSAS. We are live here at the government house.
Okay, so what's the first things first, because we can't just take 2-3 weeks away, just as I'm just suggesting. What we should do now, first of all, we have to, like you rightly pointed out, the awareness. So we have to go into the media, we have to publish. This is the one of they are calling for memorandum by the judicial. So what we'll do now in the secretariat, first of all, that's what I think. We call for memorandum from people. We circulate in the news media, that is the television, the radio, and then the newspapers of our choice. So that we now intimate the public that already we know, maybe some of us may know, but like you pointed out, the market woman, the ordinary market woman, the ordinary women in the church, the elderly, they may have grievances, but they may not know. So we see all that duty to announce, even on our own, if we have flyers, we can, but that is one of the things we are going to do now. If we have flyers that maybe we have to individually, we have like you have a lot of followers, the spiritual, so, and a lot of us will do that. But we cannot afford to be doing nothing for 3 weeks. Because I want to use support that. The first thing we should do now, this very moment now, is the awareness campaign that we sit down with. Because this committee in, I think it's in Para, immediately they tax. Now, like that, this is today is a Monday. So we come up on this one. Today is Monday. So we can in the secretariat meanwhile sit down, press release, then if we need to print flyers like jingles, jingles, yes. So these are the things. Today now, these are the things we have to decide on. Yes.
Is that in addition to TV announcement?
Yes. Radio.
That would be out.
So judicial plan of inquiry is first sitting, and they are making all of the arrangements on how to do public sensitization and all of that to
Asking where we will be venue their petitions to. So I told them to hold on to it. So we also publishing venue.
Yes, venue, time of submission, working hours, phone numbers, the phone number of the secretary, and maybe someone that will even assist the secretary. Maybe like some of you that have you have a lot of the spiritual man, one sitting next to the spiritual man, and then so others. We can include your phone numbers, not to overburden the secretary. Maybe we get a personal number for you, or you don't mind. So you know that one. So, but I'm sure they won't mind that they have their. So if we go back, yes.
Would it be better if there would be a clerical staff that would be taking care of those in a designated place?
No, we are establishing a secretariat. Yes, because that's where we do all our paperwork.
Yes.
Then there is one other thing that I'm just thinking of, because we have to think of our environment. The one of the Kwara State and these other ones, the number of workers are 9%. So you are submitting your petitions, you submit copies that will go around to the members. But this one now, the body is enlarged, and we know the kind of society we are. To ask somebody asking for redress, okay, you have to bring your photocopy.
Yes. The secretary should do that.
Yes.
Photocopy, secretary should do that.
happening now. First sitting of the judicial panel of inquiry on police brutality in Edo State, right here in Edo Government House. First sitting, day one.
You were talking about the environment. In line with that environment, what about those persons that who are not educated, who cannot put their attention into writing? So you may have to use that with your counsel. How do you go about that?
Okay, we can have oral, but preferring it will be better for us in writing.
Can we please listen to each other?
Yes,
You see, this is not an ordinary panel of inquiry. This is a judicial panel of inquiry. We have to assist each other, and our Lord is to direct us. And in view of this kind of situation, whether you are educated or not educated, I would have suggested that when we do this publication and we go to the TV stations, radio stations, people will hear. All we need to do is give like 7 days within which they have to submit all petitions. Now, when I mention 30, somebody will say, that's too large. We can send 12 copies while we have the secretariat to copy that 12 copies to go around the 24 or the 5 of us here. Meanwhile, this modus of submitting petitions, we can say it can be in writing, typed, or it can be through a affidavit. It can be through affidavit or through your solicitor. It can be through your writing. It can be through your typing it, provided it is 12 copies. And it can also be through your solicitor. And it can also be through affidavit. Whatever you want to come and say before the tribunal, front load it to us. That is, put them in 12 copies to us. Then we will do the many copies and share it among the members here. But we should be clear. If you say in handwriting, somebody will find it difficult to write 12 times in handwriting. So that can be ruled out. If we now say in typing form, you can type and photocopy 12 and bring. We will make the rest copies here. It's like we are front loading the evidence we are going to give. And the evidence is going to be subject to my loss final decision.
No, we are
So when you bring those 12 copies, we will require you to physically come. Apart from those 12 copies, we require you to physically come so as to avoid spurious and fictitious.
No, that is basic. It's basic. You need to address your weaknesses.
So, first sitting of Judicial Panel of Inquiries in Edo State, right here in Benin City, Edo Government House. If you're just connecting, welcome to this live stream. Do to share. Share for all your friends to watch it. First sitting of Judicial Panel of Inquiries.
Affidavit will be better. You can also use affidavit. Madam?
Just I'm coming to you. Let me read out what Para State. Para State is highly advise and encourages all persons who are victims or families of victims of brutality by security agents within the state to come forward with their genuine complaints and grievances, including evidence of this. Then the complaint should be addressed to the secretary. Then the content should state what happened and should be supported by evidence. It should also include names, phone numbers, and addresses of petitioners and their witnesses. The addresses submitted must be traceable. Now, there's this other one we're talking to. Put up a question. Petitions should reach the panel on or before the 18th of November. Physical submission of petitions or oral lodging of complaints.
So that's the head of the Judicial Panel of Inquiries, Justice Egamuso, addressing her colleagues right here at the Government House in Benin City. First sitting of the Judicial Panel of Inquiries on police brutality.
I suggest, please, I will be starting.
Standing.
Yes.
We are the NSAS protesters, genuine ones. The way you talk down on us, I will not like it. No, it's not like I will take it. I will take it. You are a father, you should have a son. No, I'm saying that it's not the best institutionalized. Let's give it for them to handle it.
No,
I don't like it.
Excuse me. It's okay. I think you should be optional.
We are one here.
Please, can I talk to you?
Yes, mommy.
No, come this way. So we don't want to.
I lost 2 friends last week.
We don't want to. Now we have a very serious task before us. So if there's anything anybody says you don't feel comfortable about it, let's not. I know. We lost. It's okay. That's the essence of this. So it's okay. That's why we are here. So please, if you need to respond, let us be civil. Please. Because if we are civil, we are able to do more work. That's why, okay, suppose we had come and said, okay, this is what we want to do, then wait for your this and all that. That's not it. We are putting our heads together. Accept my on behalf of all of us.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We're not here for ourselves, we're here for the public.
Yes. It's painful to lose. I know what it is. But I know how you feel. I lost a brother myself, so I know what it is to lose somebody close to you. So what's the guess? You were saying something.
Mr. Chairman, sir, it's on record that the struggle thus far is beyond end police brutality, killings, and criminality. It's about fixing Nigeria. And for us to solve the problem, for the problem not to reoccur, we must get people's view. I want to recommend that a town hall meeting should be conducted in the 3rd senatorial district so that we can get the views of Edo people. Otherwise, we'll still fall back to the same problem that we want to solve.
You know, we'll be going outside. You know, we
have a term of reference.
Yes. Of reference. Yes. If we do that, we are going outside what we are mandated.
We can also recommend to the government who gave us assignments. Recommend that this is what we want to do. Because if we don't solve the problem, if we don't answer, if we don't
whether we as members can recommend.
Yeah, we recommend that. Yes.
You can.
We are going to
come up with solutions.
Yes.
So you can submit whatever suggestion you feel, because we are confined to a certain, it's not a wide, we're not going into the affairs of Nigeria.
No, if you recall, there's a paragraph that is a government that we should look at other measures. If you check that, it emphasizes on the problems that get birth to the NSAS. So it's a other measures that
yes, and that this panel would be assisted with or by, so that by the time we are writing our reports, we have evangelism. We have evangelism. By the time we start going outside, we look as if we don't know what we are doing. So the answers, I hope people are following.
Mama, it's what
sit down.
Sit
down, spiritual.
What my comrade in army is demystifying lucidly is that the NSAS was or is just a nomenclature for the commencement of the struggle to emancipate the plebeians from the iron grip of Henry injustice and bad governance. But what he's saying is, in law, it is just an obiter dictum. Yes, we can submit our recommendations to Edo State government, though the recommendations that can be implemented in Edo State can be implemented, while those that cannot be implemented can be transmitted to President Muhammadu Buhari. Like he said, it is not just NSAS. A lot of things are happening.
In our findings, by the time we go strictly into all these things, you find that some of the petitions include a lot of things that we have to look for. So, but on our own, we cannot go fishing. They will supply us whoever is coming. They will be able to look at it. I understand what you are saying, because we've been given a limitation, jurisdiction on what to work on. But at the same time, if a petition comes up and we feel, looking at that petition, that we are able to make suggestions, somebody comes to testify and is outside our ambit, yes, from what you are saying, we as members, we can make recommendations, though it's not within our, yes, we can do that. But please let us work as a team, so that I want us to come back with a formidable, particularly the younger ones here. Your blood is.
Please, Mama, I don't know.
Yes.
Aside the expanded and the most special anti-robbery squad, I don't know. We have some cases where a military officer beats a man to stupor. After 48 hours, the man joined the ancestors. I don't know if this panel can entertain such a petition because the family of Mr. Saturday Akizeno, they are lamenting their lamentation that till date the military has refused to unmask the dramatist personnel. Despite the fact that we have written series of petitions, we have protested, and yet the archaic unknown soldier is still playing here. I don't know if the panel can entertain just.
Yes, we will not cross our bridges until we get there. So let us, we are inviting petitions and complaints. Yes, with evidence. So yes, so yes. Okay, let's hear the lady. Just a minute. Yes. And sit down when you want to talk.
I'm appealing to the House that we shouldn't cross our boundaries. By the time we send out this notification, the police brutality cases will be so much that you forget every other case. Because the issue of police brutality is, I think Benin is at the forefront. You understand? But what I wanted to draw the attention of this House to is social media. When this other man was talking, he mentioned the news, you mentioned newspaper. Nobody mentioned social media. The power of social media should not be. Okay, I didn't hear. It's not what I'm saying is not. It shouldn't just be a passive option. It's a main option. If you are going to publicize this, instead the money we use to go to media, television, should be given to influencers, people that have followers, because everybody's on their phone 247. If this goes on social media, it will go viral more than for our papas, telly, and the rest of them. But I'm just saying that social media blew NSAS, social media blew police brutality. Whatever you saw, the protests that happened started from social media. So social media should as well blow this panel. That's my humble submission.
We're doing so already. This is being live streamed.
That's it. So people will see it first.
Yeah, they're already seeing now that people are sitting.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chairman.
Very sorry about your loss, brother. Very, very sorry.
When we started, Mr. Chairman, the points that we should be discussing, we started by raising the number of days of sitting. As we speak, we have not been able to decide on the number of days we are going to be sitting. Instead, we are dancing, to every other areas. I want to believe why our father here, Chief A.B. Thomas, raised the issue of let us be standing up, so that we can be coordinated. So that at a particular time, we take a particular topic or subject, we'll be able to deal with it to the end, and then we move on to the next point. But because right now, the issue of how many days we are going to sit came up, and from there we have gone to so many other areas, and we have not yet decided the number of days we are going to be sitting. So, Mr. Chairman, what I am trying to bring out here is that when we take a particular point, let us exhaust it to completion, and then we move on to the next point. And then we move on, so that at the end of the day, we'll be able to say this is what we have done at a particular time.
Yes, something led to that. I don't think.
Yes,
In pursuant to what you just said,
Yes.
I think it would be appropriate if the secretary will draw the agenda.
No, this is
So
our
that
first meeting.
And
this is our
this is
first
how
meeting. And it's still an informal one, but we don't want to just leave the inauguration and go. That's why I'm calling for yes.
In addition to what our colleague here said, I think we have to be focused. These are inaugural meetings, not that formal. So some issues were raised regarding how many days we'll be sitting. Some said 3, some said 2. Personally, I think 2 days a week for now is okay. And I think that as petitions keep coming, it depends on the number. We might then decide to be sitting every day. It doesn't matter how much they are, but depending on the number, we can decide to sit every day after maybe 2 weeks. Then what I want to say also is that I think it is good that we form a WhatsApp group here for easy communication. Because I don't really know how we are going to be contacting ourselves without that. So that's what I want to say.
The numbers are submitted.
Yes.
Yes, a WhatsApp group of the judicial panel will be set up immediately. Suggestions is that there should be sitting at least twice a week, possibly every day, depends on the cases and petitions and the volume of petitions that they receive.
No, but you know we have said for the oral petitions, Mr. Thomas, you are withdrawn. I don't like it.
Oh my God! I just wanted to give the floor to other persons.
So, you know, like the oral petitions, that one is on the
So speaking now is the head of the panel, Justice Egiamuso.
So by the time they come with the oral, so needs be, we have to call, we have from the other side, we have to hear from, there's allegations against Mr. B, then we need to send notices to Mr. B that you are asked to appear before this panel. These are the allegations against you. That is when it's oral. And when it is written, what we have here, we have to invite them and we have to give them notice of what they are coming to face. It's a judicial panel. Mrs. Noel, I hope I'm right. Mr. Edo
You are very right, Lord.
Yes.
Yes. I want to draw the out back to what my brother is. Let us take these issues one after the other. Like now, we started with how many days in a week. Let's track that one out. Suggestions have been made. If we cannot pick one, then we can put it together. So we move forward.
So 2 days a week.
To the commission, to the panel, I suggest that this week, we use just 2 days. Then, if we say 2 days for this week, is to enable the secretariat get all things right, put this right, then get the WhatsApp and the online thing done, and the publication like other states have done, so that it can go to other states. Because some of these people who may have been affected, it's my suggestion, no. So some of these people may be outside Edo State, all right? They may not even know. Some people have this touchline food and they are vetted. So if we decide to put it in the newspaper, then that is the press release, the jingles, then the television, the newspaper, then radio, then social media, because I've been tabulating them since. If we do that, by the time we come back the following week,
we are set to go.
We are set to begin to receive all these petitions. As petitions come, if there are any persons that are specifically mentioned based on what we have here, as the evidence is there, the evidence aggregates to when did it happen, who are your witnesses, and so on and so forth. That is what evidence means. So when they begin to submit them next week, we can still sit again for say 2 days next week to see the level of response.
Okay. Because for this group now, this WhatsApp group now, is very good. So that in the event that there will be no sitting,
we can
communicate with that.
If I may suggest for this week now, It is the secretariat that will really have to work. Not we calling
But we have said 2 weeks, just in case there is any need for us to converge. That point of contact is very important. Thank you.
I want to suggest that we give deference and respect to our chairman. She has some things she wants to list out today. Let's hear what she wants to list out that we'll talk about. So that if there's anything to add to that, we can add to that. But after that, we move and then we can move on from the day.
Okay, they are all embodied on the secretarial work, on the secretariat work, because there will be date of submission, there will be deadline for date of submission. I've done that, I wrote that one out. Time of submission, then closing date of submission of those petitions, because it's not a wide, it's not an open check. So all those votes, that's what we are going to do in the secretariat now. So, and then time of sitting, which we will come up with, time of sitting, and then place of sitting. All these will go into our publication. Yes. So, well, we have not really agreed on anything now. The stage we are now is for the secretariat to take up. Once we have a strong secretariat, then we can do a lot. So they are giving us a place now, but we have not known they said we should come later to know the place they are giving us. What I'm not too sure, the staff will work with us in the secretariat. What do we have to do? Do we
discuss it in the
SSC? Yes, because we need to, you can't do all of that. And then we still need somebody to, even though you are the secretary, maybe somebody amongst us to work with you, right? So that we come up with something. 3 months is not a long time.
You now have 89 days.
The people who are to work with her,
So for those of you just connecting, this is the very first sitting of the judicial panel of inquiries right here in Benin City, Edo Government House. A panel made up of security, the representatives of all the security agencies, Army, Air Force, NSCDC, Customs, DSS, and of course members of the larger different societal groups. Heading the panel is retired Chief Justice Emiliano, so sitting right here.
No, that's 3.
Okay, then Eddie Thomas. The final. Then we have the exercise. How many of the exercises?
We already have 2 of them now.
2 of them.
Anti-precious and
Even Fares. 3 of them.
Fares.
Sorry.
We have to exercise.
He's here, but ESAF, no.
It was part of it. So it was one
No,
of
it's a side job.
different people coordinating different aspects. So he has a reason why it's let's not be into politics here. Yes, let us forget that one.
They should be sitting in our midst. And who allowed them to sit together? People will not be sitting there, they sit in our midst. Who allowed you to sit in You will sit in our midst. I think you see now. You are going to be sitting with the chairman.
Him, yes. Let him sit here with the chairman. Yes. So this is informal, even though it's the first sitting, it's informal, so that's why there's talking from all angles. It's just to, set out the agenda, modus operandi, and all of that is being sorted in this informal first sitting. Of course, there's no petition that has been submitted yet. So going forward, they will let the public know how they can submit their petition.
Beyond the old by all of us. So, yes,
We're not talking about the venue.
the
Venue. It's not known.
It's not known yet. Government has not yet furnished us with.
The government will tell us.
So all these things, we are tracking all these things. As soon as we write from here, we see the essay.
Not all of us.
Now, WhatsApp message.
This is how to cross.
No, me the answer with the my own. Because when they get some conversation.
Notice of publication of the activities of the commission. That one is and the dailies, news, media, submission of petitions. Number we have not agreed that about that one. The number of petitions.
No. To be submitted. To be submitted. Let's go to 10.
Some of the recognizable faces here as Bishop Feb Idausa of Church of God Mission International, right here with us at the panel.
Should we agree on the number of petitions to be submitted?
Hello, members of the chairman. If you are submitting a petition, this legally can be 10 copies. Then we can duplicate the numbers. But I'm not bothered with the mode of writing the petition. We have stated that it can be any email, you can send to a lawyer, and those are channels that are bureaucratic. You have to send it to write a petition, of course.
You have to pay.
You know this. So we have to liberalize this. Let petitions come from even few members of this committee who assess the complainant. You can help the person to write it. Therefore, mode of
physical submissions of petitions or oral lodging of complaints.
No, that's is a judicial panel. Oral lodging.
This is a judicial panel.
Yeah, I know, but you can. They should copy us.
No, because we wanted that they are so person. You are putting on videos.
But you know that even the persons that are mentioned, you say just take it down.
So for example, from experience, I'm in mediation.
Yes.
We take complaints, we take oral, we take petitions, we take referral.
And they walk in.
Yes, when they walk in, what any of us collect them, sit down, tell us your story, what is your problem? We write it down.
We have enough lawyers here that can do that.
Yes.
We have plenty of them.
Many of us can write for them.
Yes.
So members of the judicial panel are even saying they would suggesting that they would even write petitions on behalf of complainants.
The market
For those who are illiterate or those who cannot write properly.
We can equally mandate some members of this, maybe 2 or 3, to appear in any of these enlightenment programs on television, like this morning on ITV. EBS also has their own, to also enlighten the public. Yes.
My lord, I wanted to suggest, I'm thinking aloud, that a panel right now, from all the various suggestions, we can have temporary subcommittees. We can have the press committee. We can have the complaints, petitions, whatever committee that will be in charge of complaints, collation of complaints, and so on. And if there are other complaints, the subcommittee can help to also reduce into writing. So that we break ourselves.
So for those of you just connecting, we're live here at the first sitting of the Judicial Panel of Inquiries. A suggestion has just been made for subcommittees to be set up within the panel to attend to the various issues such as press and management, complaint management. So do well to share this live stream so that everybody will be carried along.
The subcommittee for that, the representatives from the
because in the end, war is also settled on the table of negotiation.
Very well.
So the complaints now, we pass them over to the NSAS.
Let's add 1 or 2 lawyers.
At least 1 of 2 lawyers.
Okay, you will be with them.
Why must it be 2 lawyers?
Hello. Please, I'm not stopping anybody. Please, I don't want to talk. You will join that committee. Can you follow that? You agree? Fine. So that we can get some other persons to join you in that committee. So
no. Which committee? The complaints. You have already
complaints.
Take the NSAS.
We will join them.
So the NSAS members of the judicial panel will be in charge of managing complaints from the public. So they will receive it and submit it to the panel. Then of course there will be media committee, there will be
names of the committee or secretariat. On secretariat first. Read it out. Read it out.
I told you please be there. I have Pius, I have Precious. Pius, I have David. Who's the names now? No, when I get the list, I will now get the full name. Okay. Then I have A.B. Thomas. How many? Esquire. Chief.
I left Esquire long ago.
You left Esquire?
I left Mr. long ago.
When will you leave Esquire?
No, I won't leave Esquire. I left Mr. long ago.
Then, for the, do you have any paper so that they can, for fast, you can give them so that they can write their names?
Can we get a list of committee names?
If you want to make it have some.
Okay, so you give this to the SARS so that they are in charge of the
please.
So which other committee?
The press. What about the press?
The press.
Yes.
I'll suggest, since the NUJ is not here, so I'll pick some media influencers also join in. It's very important, not just Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and other.
Okay, they are here.
Yeah, we know they will not access.
Okay. So
I'll start with the NUJ.
Who the
chairman.
Then let him chairman. Then which other committee do you want to be?
Which one is the judicial committee?
Judicial committee.
No. It's secretariat. Then complaints committee. Then the publicity committee. No. Come at the end.
Press is the same thing as publicity. Press is the same thing as
Yes. No, right at the end.
So how many subcommittees do you have?
We have 3.
Is that okay?
That's okay.
But you should be one of the committees.
Yes.
No, it's a suitable one.
Please, so that join it.
No, we need a complaint.
Complaints. want you in one of them.
I think you also need one of it. You also need the rep of police to also be there. Since we are there.
But they are not there now.
We have their rep. We have their rep. But they are there for you. It's so stressful. So we have to go. What's together? You are there?
Okay, add the two of them.
Yes, we don't add them.
So for those of you just connecting, we are live here at Edo Government House. First sitting of judicial panel of inquiries that has been birthed as a result of the end SARS protests. And the Governor Godwin Obaseki instructed that their sitting must always be transparent and made known to the public as it is happening. Reason for this live stream we are running so that all of you can hear them as they talk, as they sit, and as they deliberate on the issues. By the way, this day one is an informal sitting. They haven't received any petitions yet. They are only just, making all of the deliberations and all of the arrangements on their mode of operation. So that's why it's a little bit rowdy. It's a little bit different persons are talking at the same time. But again, this is just day one, and they are making all of the arrangements for their mode of agreements and all of that for their mode of operation. They are setting up different subcommittees to attend to press, complaints, compensation, etc. That's all of the things that's being sorted out right now. Again, this sitting is ongoing. It's an informal one. It's day one. So they haven't received any petitions yet.
Are you in press?
Yes, SSS
Where are you from?
Social media influencer. Social media influencer.
National
Human rights. The complaints. Complaints. National human rights.
The Nigerian Army is here, Nigerian Air Force is here, DSS is here, Nigerian Police Force is here, NSCDC is also here as well. Customs also have representative here, Nigerian prisons also have representative here. All of them are seated in the first sitting of the judicial panel of inquiries. Of course, the head of the panel is Justice Egiamuso, retired.
But we haven't gotten anything yet. They are just passing. They are.
My Lord, if I understand the person very well, what I think he's saying is that with this list of committees now, and since we still have 1 more day to sit this week, if we come next week, let each committee submit a report as to what they have done.
What will they do?
There is publicity committee.
Because you are going to need some funds to do some of these things. So which report are you coming on? We are just doing the framework. Until we finish, we submit to the SSD. You have any reports? Before we do so.
I'm not telling that much. I'm telling you.
to hold their own meetings. The committees don't meet today.
To help them to become something most likely, particularly when petitions have been submitted, when they want to start to deliberate on the petitions, definitely.
We have succeeded in this.
Can you get a microphone or something for the deciding something? No, I mean, after today, with which can be I think they will be sitting.
I would suggest the subcommittee should have admin that will create also WhatsApp group.
It's only doing that.
Okay, for the subcommittees.
He's taking the WhatsApp number from the
general.
They need to have their own subcommittee.
No, it's very important so that they can use that to brainstorm and know what they intend to achieve. And they will not give us their own interim report. Like the secretariat will tell us, this is how far they have done. They have been able to get the secretariat. They can now work with this. They have
so what we have now, we have 3 subcommittees. We have 3 subcommittees because I'm going to bring the evidence. We have 3 subcommittees. We have the complaints from the staff. We have the press, and then the other one is
media. So that's how the press committee, then the secretariat subcommittee. The complaints subcommittee and the press.
So publicity and the press, they go
together. Yeah, the better name is publicity. Publicity subcommittee, yes.
So, but within you in the subcommittees, you can form your own subcommittees or whatever you want
Okay. This framework we're doing right now is a very good start. We have a framework committee that will also talk along what you are thinking and what we are thinking. We have to guide it on. If not, we just keep going every day. In media, like you mentioned, like you said about agenda, mentioned about procedures. So we have to feel that the framework of how we will operate. That will be good. Check ourselves to that.
We have this subcommittee.
Well, I think the issue of the framework, like you mentioned, agenda, so that comes from our secretariat and the chairman of the circuit. Every time we meet, we're going to follow this framework. Also, we have an agenda.
So, because we have to make the SSG to see how our secretariat will be like. Because if they are submitting 10 copies, we need to have
Yes.
So what else are we talking about today? Yes.
Why we're listing out the criteria for the petition? Witnesses, drop attention. There are some persons that have been harassed. They just know this division did this to me. The person from this division. But they don't know names. Do you understand? Then you see some of these federal stars, former federal stars, disbanded. They don't have name tags. Like I have a person that paid 580,000 there by force. He didn't know I complained to one of the security chiefs and I was like, get a name. He didn't know the name. We didn't even know how to trace the person until the protest in front of state headquarters. He quickly tapped me. The camera captured it when Bulliova was trying to push protesters and he was the person in front of that Bulliova and on top of the Bulliova. So he quickly tapped me and said, that's the man, that's the man. Okay, didn't they say that? You understand? So if not that, we wouldn't have known the person. So in cases like that, what happens when you just know, start this, I have evidence of the transaction. Some they bring POS that their own personal POS, and if you trace that POS, someone that tried it, that POS does not end with any name. Do you understand? So in such cases,
in the absence of
You just know that so and so they took me to this POS and I withdrew this money and gave them cash. Is it that the POS, what happens?
Maybe they have doctored it in such a way that it's untraceable.
Untraceable, yes.
So, but in the absence of any evidence, there's nothing you can do. I will still appeal, excuse me, gentlemen and ladies, please, I still appeal to every one of us. Let us, take this assignment with all seriousness that it deserves. It's a serious one. We have been looking at it now. This is our first inaugural meeting, but it's a very serious and sensitive assignment that we have to do. Like she had pointed out now that there are some cases. And I know there are various cases like that. But in the absence of any evidence to tie anybody down,
And also, in cases where you have some police personnel that use nicknames, like for instance, story. You understand? That name, when you mention it among young persons, he has so terrorized and they just know his name. I've had one, but I don't know his real name. So, yes, you just know that this story, you just know there are some nicknames that are already in town. What is he? Can they use those alias
when we get to the bridge, that is why we have that subcommittee, and we have received the complaint, articulated, deliberate on it.
They can hold this nickname.
Yes. As long as administration, if it's no issue.
People have the photographs.
Yes, I think there is one right issue that has to be streamlined. Yes. And I'm aware that a lot of persons here are brought in also judgment against SAS officers. So are we going to elaborate our TOR to compensating those who already have valid judgments? No. Because let me explain. A lot of persons here are agree of SAS brutality, and I can tell you that majority will not be able to establish a case of proof beyond reasonable doubt. Yeah. Now we are talking about compensation. We should also look at people who are proven taking steps to use the education system to get justice, and yet they have not been given the compensation because the money of police is somewhere in CBN. CBN will deny everybody. I don't have policemen and all that. So those are compensating mechanisms that can actually give justice.
Yes, gentlemen, my learned friend has just raised an issue.
Yes.
It is my suggestion that this be a judicial panel of inquiry. We cannot take issue of compensation at the stage we are until we get to recommendations. Those recommendations will be embedded with the judgments, because I know where he's talking about. When you get judgment against the police or the force or the army, you cannot get enforcement against them without the fiat of the Attorney General of the Federation. These are part of the recommendations plus the judgment we will send to the SSG, who will send to the governor, and the governor will know where he's sending to. So that those people will also get their compensation when others are getting their own. If we say, oh, right now let us be implementing judgments of court, it's not possible.
How can this panel enforce judgment?
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
It has to go with the recommendation. It has to go, gentlemen, it has to go to the SSG or government. The government. It has to go to recommendation. Please. Thank you, Madam Lebron.
So the chairman, I want to suggest that we still want to come out to that idea of a framework committee. So every time we meet, we have a framework to follow, or else we will be like this, where we're going 10 different directions every time.
Just like what Bishop, if I get the Bishop, it's like at every sitting, we know what we are coming to discuss. So that it will be like a course list. Or if you are attending meeting, you know the agenda. Rather than just coming, we go east, we go west, we go west. So at every meeting we are coming in future, that is what I understand the bishop will say. Sorry, I am not an capital.
You know, most of what we are really involved with is the day-to-day sitting of the hearing of petitions. That's what we are involved to listen to agitations and petitions for ladies and come up with a report. Those that need to be compensated, that is primarily, that is that's the goal, you know. So if these other ones we are doing is just a peripheral thing, just to give us a leeway into doing our job. By the time the secretariat is set up with whatever we need, all the working materials, and then the complaints panel, you are arranging to have your complaints coming to you, then the press, then we're good to go. We don't even have any other thing to do other than to be taking hearings every day from people. Because maybe we need to, somebody was saying that maybe the governor said something about going outside some of them. Even the area I was looking at, somebody said there are some people they don't know their name. If we need to rise and go to maybe somebody, yes, we go with somebody for identification, we can do that. But primarily what we have to do here is hearing. That is what I understand what we are here to hear complaints from people, because people are agitated, a lot of people are grieved and suffering. You know, they've lost lives, they've lost their family members. Somebody was crying just now, saying he lost a friend, one of us.
Two friends, yeah.
We have put it for you. So we should public address.
So for those of you just connecting, this is the very first sitting of the judicial panel of inquiries on which has been set up as a result of NSAS protests to look into all of the cases and accusations of police brutality in Edo State. Chairman of the panel is Justice Yamas, retired, and we have representatives of all the security agencies, and of course members representing different groups in the society.
Go and see the SSG, then we take it up from there. But our primary assignment is like a court, so to say, you know. It's a question, I don't know what to call it, a preside court or something. So we listen to them, we can even cross-examine them. Yes. We can. Yes. Yes. That's the essence. So I agree and I support your suggestion that we put it just for 2 days. We are not coming up with anything yet, but within this week, hopefully, I hope we'll come up with something. So we won't even announce anything. And Thursday. So why the secretariat, the press and the secretariat will be working. Yes. We'll be working because we need to meet the essence. Because we need to send out feelers, you know, sensitization, you know, to people, so that they really know that there's a panel of this nature. I'm sure the press, they're here with us there at the inauguration.
Yes, of course.
The representative of the person. The representative of the person is a member of the panel.
Okay, that's the.
Okay, Mr. Okia.
Live and direct.
So are we putting? Is there anything we are putting up in the press?
Give it to him.
No, nothing for today.
No.
It's just the finance side. That's from the government side.
Yes.
And I want us to cooperate. Let's not be judgy. Let's not get offended by little things. So let us work as a team so that we'll be able to come up with something for the like you said, it's something to that Edo State should be copied. Please agree to each and every one of you. If there's anything offensive, you can be civil about it. You can get up and talk, but let's not be combatants. Please, I beg you, so that we'll be able to work as a team, as a strong team. I don't believe in, foul language or incivility. I don't work like that. I prefer to work because you do more work by the time you work as a team. Like he has now suggested that we form subcommittees, which has even put us forward to what we want to do. So, in the absence of what else again? Sorry. It's supported by
WhatsApp message and the secretariat will inform.
So anyway, suggestion about online meeting is being ruled out because it's a very serious matter, and it is true that network might be issues. For those of you just connecting, we're live here in Edo Government House, first sitting of the judicial panel of inquiries that has been set up as a result of and SARS protests.
What dates have we decided? Or we say we communicate? Today is Monday. So we meet again on Thursday. Time.
Won't it be more appropriate that then will be communicated through WhatsApp?
Yes.
So that by the time we are here, everything will have been set.
So that we
That is one. Then two, I hear Mondays. I fear if we take Mondays as one of our city days, just coming out from the weekend, we'll need to set up our offices before we go out. So I think we should be looking at Tuesday. Tuesday, yes, because this committee is not our primary place of work. And Monday is set up, the week in your own office.
Tuesdays, Thursdays.
So Tuesdays and Thursdays will be sitting for now at the judicial panel of inquiries. But the days might also vary, as been mentioned by the head of the panel.
Tuesdays.
So what is Tuesday now?
Tuesday.
The evening, they always add more days.
Because by the time we are fully set up, they're going to add Monday.
We can add Mondays, yes. But Saturday, not Monday.
You don't say that.
So the panel meeting is gradually coming to an end. So thank you all for watching this live stream. Okay guys, thank you very much for watching this live stream. We'll leave now, and later there will be press release on all that was deliberated today. There will be summary of it all. Thank you very much for watching this live stream, and we'll have a great week ahead.
Now we don't hear from the people. Abeg, help us share this video, share this information, so that the people wey don't experience police brutality for Edo State, make them for know the things where they need to do. So make I leave you now. Make you help us share this video. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, abeg try make you subscribe, so that make you for the deaf current with the things where they happen for Edo State. So make I leave you now. Make you help us share this video. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.